Let's go. Cool kid step to the front. Cool kid. Too sweet sign for the click.
Bitch, you don't work there.
Feel like I need a shower just looking
Gotta
at
get
you.
right, can't quit. Yeah, I'm up next, I'm the prince. They ain't been the same ever since. Living pretty
We
well
cut
on
the
the
head
challenge.
off.
I ain't
You're
got
gonna
no
be single
time
for the
like
rest of your life.
Brock Lesnar on the beast.
Look at the heat.
Sleep flex and
Look at the
repeat.
heat.
Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level got
I get no bitches.
Bringing content on the daily. Feeling like Gresh and Suela.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh and Suela podcast. This is episode number 40 of this illustrious podcast. Joining you as always is the purveyor of mischief, the voice that does the most, Gresh. And joining me as always is none other than the queen of rebels herself, Suela the Bandit. What's good with your familia?
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody had a great week, a great day, great time wherever you was at. I really hope that today has been a prosperous day for you. So, let's do it. Let's get into it. What we got today, Gresh?
Oh yeah, you know, we got our typical main event of stepping back into our time machine where we run down what we watched this week, which was literally for the first time we watched a weekly show of this company. We're going back to TNA Impact, or before they was Impact Wrestling, from August 6, 2009, where a riot breaks out in the Impact Zone. I didn't realize that was the episode we got into halfway through the show, but yeah, we got a riot. We had some solid in-ring matches here and there, but I think the main fruit of that episode was the riot that took place, because I believe that was the first time, to my knowledge, that there was a riot of that magnitude and that produced on mainstream television ever. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't even know if anybody tried to really duplicate that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably done it in NXT, because Lord knows NXT is a chaotic place to work. So yeah, we're gonna relive TNA Impact, so you guys can know where we're gonna cross the line, as they like to say. We're gonna.
This episode was great.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. We're gonna cross the line, as they kept trying to get us to. That's literally the slogan of the entire cross the line. Make sure you cross the line. Cross the line. But speaking of crossing the line, we're gonna cross the line on our side and give you guys a few house notes here for Gresh, as well as the Gresh and Suela podcast. And speaking of my namesake, I am back on Twitch this past Tuesday, March 14th. Your boy stepped back on Twitch for a fun time. It was pretty chill. It was pretty interactive. We played through WWE 2K23, and it was everything I thought it would be. It was fun. It was a fun, well-polished WWE 2K22. Of course, I had one crash after playing through My Rise a bit, but overall, it wasn't a bad experience. I paid for 2 deluxe copies of the game after spinning the wheel. And shout out to Coltrane and Hornet, who wasn't the original winners, but they are the 2 winners for the giveaway. But keep it locked on my Twitch in the near future. I'll be doing more giveaways once all my bills are paid. I'm not broke. I'm not broke, but I'm not balling like that yet. So,
Right.
just letting y'all know.
We balling on a budget.
Yeah, we balling on a budget. Once the bills are paid, then I can step out and play. So that's how we rolling. And plus, I'm saving up for Detroit, because I'm not trying to go broke when Detroit hits. I'm not trying to pay for all my stuff and then I don't have nothing to eat because I'm giving too much. So let's be real. Like, if stuff start popping off where money start coming in left and right, then there's that. But for now, the giveaways will be sprinkled from here and there. But make sure you tap into the Twitch. So far the reception was pretty positive. I started off you wasn't in the stream, so I might as well catch up the Bandit on this one, because I know she was booked, so she wasn't really available to do a lot of stuff. But I started off the stream with some retro 90s show intros. Like I
Nice.
started off with Keenan and Kel. I had to sprinkle in your sisters. What you call
Dang.
it? What was his name? Jet, was it Jet Jackson or something like that? Was it Jet?
It probably is.
It was a show that I didn't necessarily watch growing up, but I heard of it. It was this dude named Jet. Some people probably know who I'm talking about. Also, I threw in Fresh Prince, not the Bel Air remake, but Fresh Prince, all that. Was it That's Alright? No, it was mainly Nickelodeon stuff that was on there. Proud Family. So I
Okay.
did sprinkle in a few, and and that was something I did on the fly because what I wanted to do with these streams is kind of be myself as far as like reminisce with my childhood, relive but also realize that me growing up, what we did growing up was some of the best shows. Like a lot of these theme songs nowadays ain't really hitting. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I don't know if it's the what you call it, the musicians are just not feeling the shows or they just feel like they're obligated to, but you don't
Or
really have.
somebody that don't appreciate the
That's
90s
what I'm saying.
because
Like it's not even a '90s thing because some of the '80s stuff was
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
decent.
yeah,
It's just
yeah, you're
and some
right.
of the early it's an occasional where the music is catchy. Like I can give shout out to the Game of Thrones and all that stuff because they actually put their passion into the
The
music,
series.
the series. Whereas it's like these sitcoms with that my nieces and nephews and all these other people are listening to. They be like, "Hey, Uncle Josh, can you listen to this?" All right, I'll listen to it, but then the intro be just like, "All right, I skip it.
Right.
I'll just
Like I can't
I can't sit through this. I'll just skip that
I
shit."
can't do it. I gotta skip the intro. Like
So that's why I wanted to like just set the mood, set the tone. I might keep it. I might do that where I just sporadically play '90s stuff, and the chat was feeling it. So I can tell I wasn't doing anything wrong. If you missed it live, I'm pretty sure the video on demand is still on Twitch. But I think some of the songs are muted for copyright reasons. So that's why I always tell people to catch the stream live so you can get the full experience. Because if you don't, then when you watch the video on demand, you're gonna get some like probably 95% because especially music that
yeah,
is copyrighted that I don't have the license to use.
yeah.
So also speaking of WWE 2K23, my first video on WWE 2K23 will be dropping on Monday, and I might end up double doing it and doing a Wednesday video release as well, because I want to make up for this week because I'm more than likely not going to drop one this week. I might upload the archive for the stream that I did, a more chopped down condensed version. If I get to it, it was literally a 3-hour stream. But it's another fantasy booking for the one that's going to be dropping on Monday. I might, if it's finished in time, I might drop it Friday. Who knows how? You know how sporadically my brain works. But the next video the first video for WWE 2K23 will be the next fantasy booking where I booked the 2023 Queen of the Ring tournament, which was announced for May. It's in a way a continuation of my King of the Ring booking video, but I wanted to make it as current as possible with who's in the game. So there's that. So you're probably going to see some people who are probably DLC that should win this certain scenario, but they're DLC. They haven't been released yet, so I can't really work with it. And then the day one calls aren't really the day one calls. Like shout out, speaking of WWE 2K23, that's enough of the house notes. But speaking of WWE 2K23, I had the opportunity to skim through certain aspects. It's legitimately 2K22 polished with additions. And that's not saying that's a bad thing because 2K22, while flawed it's like with being empty with certain spots, 2K23 somewhat had made up for it. Of course, there's the day one bugs. Like if I'm using Creator an Arena, the referee is invisible, so there's no referee in a normal match. If I use a custom logo, it bounces back to the default setting instead of spacing it out, so it looks unfinished. Some logos disappear. What you call it? The game obviously crashed because I played My Rise, but it's not I haven't had too many frequent crashes. Also online sometimes like goes offline. Like it'll say, "Oh, this is a glitch," which is a common day one thing. I expect this to probably be as many patches as it was for 2K23 2, which was, I believe it was 8 or 9. So I expect it to be the same amount of patches because it's 2K. Like their shit is never perfect. Like people have survived NBA for years playing pretty much the same freaking game, just with an updated roster every year, and people pay for it. I think I paid $110 for the Icon Edition, which is basically my faction awards. A lot of people I haven't really had the opportunity to sit down to play through like my faction, all that stuff. I got a show in the morning at the time of this recording, and then I'll probably do it right afterwards. And I obviously got this show, working on other content. But I'm gonna get around to more than likely streaming more. And I might as well go. What do you want to know about 2K23? Or did I tell you everything?
I did think about. Well, you you kind of gave me majority of everything because I was gonna ask how was the gameplay. You already answered it.
The gameplay is pretty much. That's what I'm saying. It's a more polished 2K22. It's obviously got its little moments because I know I put clips on Twitter, especially when I was playing through showcase mode. Undertaker, his leg started tweaking out when I hit John Cena in the barricade, and it was I'm like, is he stretching or whatever the case? But obviously the chat clipped it, so shout out to the chat for clipping it. But it's little stuff like that I feel that could be patched in. Like I don't have anything negative to say. I went in, and it's probably because I went in with low expectations, like I did with 2K22.
Okay.
It's like, and that's what I do with my wrestling too. Like I go in with low expectations, looking to be blown away from my low expectations. And because the worst thing you can do as a creator, a consumer, is go in with high expectations, and then when it's not hit, then you be disappointed.
At like low results.
And you just start shitting on everything. It's like, did you expect this to happen this way? Like a lot of people probably expected this game to come with a million new match types. We got war games. I'm pretty sure making sure that doesn't crash takes a lot of resources. So what they're probably going to do is make sure that doesn't crash this game and probably the next game, and then they maybe going to introduce a new match type the next game. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and then it's like certain little things that I had the opportunity to just play through on stream. Obviously, we beat up Hulk Hogan because it's fuck Hulk Hogan in these streets, or Terry, whichever one you want to call it. But it's like little stuff like that playing through. I didn't hate it. So other than that, it's like right now, especially with my early 2K23 videos, I'm going to use custom attires, but until I feel comfortable with using, especially with the custom arenas still kind of sort and showing bugs, I will probably stick to the default attires in my videos until I feel like they patch some stuff to make sure it works without crashing my game. But other than that, and the story in My Rise, I don't want to spoil it because I don't know if you want to play the game or whatever, or if anybody haven't played the game. For the men, you're stuck into a character called the Lock, and then you're stuck into for the women, you're stuck into a character for like about legacy, about being a second generation talent. I don't hate that idea, but it's like I wish they give you more options to turn that nickname off, because hearing Lock puns throughout the entire mode almost made me pull my locks out. So
no, man, no.
It was because it was so corny. It was corny. It was corny lock puns. It was like, oh, he has the Intercontinental Championship on lock. He has the whole division on lock. I'm like, and then the way they said it, the Lock, his name was literally the Lock, and then people was like, isn't that a bad pun on the Rock?
Pretty much.
and it was like, yeah, but when you take that away, the booking and the actor who played the creative star, the Lock, as far as with the men, I still haven't had the opportunity to sit through the women because it's literally hours upon hours of gameplay, which I will dedicate both of those to live streams, so you won't be seeing me create videos like I did last year with 2K22. The reason why is because I'm gonna be real, the video stunk. Like as far as like viewership, like the one thing I don't is one thing I don't do is like I test the waters. I put my whole editing box
Spin on it.
spin on it, and if nobody watches it, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm gonna focus on something else. So
Got you.
so it's like, and then it's like from the stream that I did for my rise, it was well received. So I might as well stick to it. And also shout out to 2K again for finally getting some freaking locks that is close enough to my hair, for starters. Because my God, I was so tired of seeing that same old short bob dreadlock setup that they gave us for the past 10 years. But I put it on Twitter and I showed them, like, finally, after playing these games for 200 years, they gave us different variation of locks, dreadlocks. It's like, if you need me to fly out to wherever y'all scan so y'all can get different designs, I got people who can give you freaking designs for this game, because the blocks that y'all been having in this game has been ass or very limited. So that overall, that's my overall thoughts on 2K23. And speaking of one more house notes, this Friday I will be doing a movie Friday on Twitch. Basically what I'm going to be doing, because I put a poll out for a few weeks ago. I was like, what do y'all think about a classic 90s 2000s type beat for movies, where we throw a classic movie on screen, and we vibe and we chill. Overall, people voted yeah, and some people voted nah, but still do it. For those of you who said nah to do it, I'm gonna do it. Movie Fridays are coming, and I believe the first movie that we are going to stream, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, I might be wrong on this one, because
Friday night
it's Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's gonna be after SmackDown. Let's down. Go. And the reason why you said what?
Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why I did that is because who wants to watch a movie in the middle of the day? So it's like,
besides me, if I'm not working, like if I'm like, you know what, let me put this movie on, see what this is about.
That's what I'm saying. 10 p.m. to whatever time it ends. We talk a little bit, then we click out. I don't see no problem. But the first movie is What's the Worst That Could Happen?
Oh yeah, man. Okay, classic. I'll watch that again and again.
It's been a minute since I've seen that movie. It has been a minute since I've seen that movie. It's like, that was the perfect first one. And then obviously I'm focusing on the classics. The reason why is because I can sort of get away with putting those on screen because they're so old. Like we're probably gonna throw some Tubi movies up there too, to kind of some bad movies. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're gonna do. Just put some movies that is like that we're gonna laugh and joke about. And like, I'm not trying to, like, no disrespect to the fantasies and the dramas. I ain't trying to watch no drama. Like I want to laugh.
I want to laugh.
I want to laugh. Like, let's do that.
I have a balance, but I love to laugh more than anything.
That's what I'm saying. So and then when the movie's thrown up, the jokes will fly. So yeah, shout out to the people who voted on this, because it was just an idea that literally just came to me. I know I was like, what if we do that? Because I don't really see a lot of people who do like movie type beats on Twitch, and if they do, I don't see them, because I don't go searching on Twitch. I'm not a Twitch surfer type beat. Like if we're not following each other creator wise, I really don't know if you exist, and vice versa. So, but yeah, what's the worst that could happen? We'll be tapped in. Make sure you tap in twitch.tv/hey yo, it's Gresh. And literally, and if you want to find other ways to support the channel, solo.to/Gresh. All right, now it's time to step back in time for TNA Wrestling Cross the Line. Or maybe let me do this proper. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do this proper. Let me do this proper. TNA Cross the Line. Man. Before we get into the show, what you think about this episode? You say you enjoyed it, right?
I enjoyed this episode. Although there are some people that I really didn't remember like that. So
Don't feel bad.
other than that, I did enjoy the show because at first, like during the course, I was like, okay, who is this? But I had my moment. I was like, huh? Like, hold on.
No,
Like,
no, don't feel bad. It was a few that I had to like in the middle of the show. I had to pause it. I had to Google. I was like, "What? Who is so and so? What is so and so up to? Oh, you ain't wrestling no more. Oh, you in Mexico. Oh, okay."
wrestling over.
I'm like, it was stuff like that I was like, oh, because most of these people outside, obviously, the Main Event Mafia, because this was the era of Main Event Mafia and all these other people. Anybody who wasn't in WWE before, I was like, or if I haven't seen them, if I don't see them now in AEW, then I'm like, who are you?
Right.
So, but TNA Wrestling crossed the line for August 9th, 2009. That's what we're here for this week. We start off the show with a recap of last week's Impact with the song Burn It Down. Burn It Down. I've never heard this song before until like a few months ago. Because I think I was randomly watching a random TNA pay-per-view on YouTube and I heard this. I was like, what is this song? Why haven't I ever heard this before in my life? And obviously it was in 2019. I really wasn't watching back then. I was still WWE. I was on autopilot, but I was still in WWE. But this was Burn It Down by 50, Filthee. And I'm like, okay, you had to be different. Featuring Major James. It was basically a recap of last week's Impact of Hernandez making his return to in-ring action, defeating Samoa Joe with the face paint. So he was Nation of Violence alongside Taz of the Main Event Mafia, proclaiming to the world that he will be the first TNA World Heavyweight Champion that's Latino. MMA superstar, pre-almighty Bobby Lashley made his TNA intentions clear. I'm still hungry. I want titles. I want to run this place, but you guys are stealing titles. Talking to the Main Event Mafia, basically proclaiming himself that he wants the TNA World title for himself. And then the hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley, shocked the world when he captured the Legends title with an assist from the icon Sting. Has the Main Event Mafia reached a breaking point? Plus, AJ Styles has taken round one in a best of 3 series to see who will face Sting and Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight title at Hard Justice. This was around the time they gave their titles or their episodes a title. So the title of this episode was Powers Unite. So I like that little touch because I know someone who watched TV shows like I think when there's drama involved, they always typically label their episodes if it's not on Netflix. Because I know back in the CW days, they used to label all their episodes like after pilot is like whatever random name they came up with that made no fucking sense, but it is what it is.
Or it won't line up with the show.
Exactly.
Like, what?
You're like, what does this have to do? And for people who don't follow
the title,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If people who don't follow production behind the scenes, then you won't know exactly what we're talking about. But basically, if you go into the description, there's a title of the episode that literally looks the same. It's basically written like if you watch Power or something. I think they label certain episodes, so stuff like that. We have a earlier today segment where a limo arrived with Kurt Angle and Eric Young exiting the car. What is going on between these two is the big question. Like, what is going on, Kurt? Eric Young in a suit that looked a little wrinkled, but that's not neither here nor there. Then we get the show intro. It is my destiny. It is the truth I seek. In this world I find a way to content. I like this intro. I don't know why. It got me. It reminded me of the Attitude Era Raw intro. A little high key. Like I be doing what I be doing. I be doing the thing.
It's dope though.
You said what?
I said it's dope though.
Oh yeah, it's the go-to intro music for TNA. The open pyro goes crazy here. Like it was, but they was in the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Tonight on Impact. I'm trying to sound like Mike today. I'm sorry. It's match number 2 in the best of 3 series between AJ Styles and Matt Morgan, plus Sting returns to the ring against Magnus of the British Invasion with Mike Tenay and Don West, rest in peace, on commentary. We kick off the show with the Main Event Mafia, that theme song.
I was like, okay. Well, okay then. Let's get the show started. That is so I was like, they had to be crunk back then, boy, because them theme songs, man.
But out first is TNA World Heavyweight Champion Kurt Angle. That's a beautiful belt. I don't know why. Like,
Yes, it is.
that was one of the most beautiful belts I've ever seen growing up. And I'm like, when they changed it, I was mad. Fucking Hulk Hogan and then Immortal changed it. They changed it to the Jeff Hardy's face in purple font, and I'm like, this is ass. But yeah, it made you feel like this was a world champion, because it just that's why it's like when you see that's why I kind of have a fondness for the AEW world title as well, because their title looks like a world championship, and it's like I mess with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, but the WWE title does not look like a world championship. It just it looked like a promotion prop. That's pretty much it. Like, it doesn't feel authentic. And then he has two versions of them, a blue one and a black one.
He do. And I'm like, dang. I know, I get it. You understand? You trying to make both belts look great. I get it. But we had to change this because this ain't fitting you right now.
It's like,
y'all make me get a little mad now. Like,
and then the sad thing is, it's like the women's titles look exactly the same as the men's title, and it's like
just one red and one blue. Like,
well, one red font and then blue font, and then both straps are white, so it's literally the same freaking belts. And then don't get me started on the tag team titles. It's like, it's like, yeah.
I can't even go there.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like when you see belts like the TNA title back then, I guess you could say the TNA title that they introduced post Jeff Hardy with the Victory Road thing was pretty decent. But anything that was like this TNA title, the Winged Eagle, the big belt that's back there behind me, stuff like that made you look like a world champion. Because every time I see that belt, I think of Batista, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Shawn Michaels when he was that brief champion. But like people like that, I think of those people, Booker T or King Booker, Stone Cold with the Winged Eagle and the Attitude Era Winged Eagle. It's like stuff like that made it's every belt look different. But when it's all a big prop, then I'm like, it don't take me out of the show, but it's like, I just try with your belts. Just try. That's all I'm saying. But back on track, Kurt Angle came out, Samoa Joe with Taz, Tracy Brooks, Sharmell, TNA Tag Champs, Booker T, and Scott Steiner, and Kevin Nash and a woman, I forgot her name, sorry, for a promo. Basically, this promo was Kurt Angle started by saying that Mick Foley allegedly won the TNA Legends title, basically disputing the win from last week because Sting caused a distraction. Bobby Lashley then caused all the damage and basically said he wasn't legal and says the outcome is null and void. But the TNA board of directors let the decision stand on the agreement that Kevin Nash gets a rematch at Hard Justice. I don't know about you, but Booker T was distracting the hell out of me during this entire promo.
I was just gonna say, did you catch Booker T?
This man was.
You've already done beat me to it.
This man was standing like a Power Ranger the entire segment, and it was distracting me nonstop. Like, he was just, and then and then this man literally was walking up the stairs like this.
Booker T.
And then he started doing a little pizzazz and stepped through, and then said, ah. And then
man,
this man was on. I don't know if he was on autopilot because he was in TNA, which was like in his way was a downgrade from being in WWE for so long. You thought he was insufferable when he on that SmackDown that we reviewed that one time with him turning on RVD because he felt like he was bigger than SmackDown. He went down even more when he went to TNA. So he was on autopilot because that man was literally just posing stiff like a robot. Like he felt like he was bigger than everybody. He was like the way this man shook people's hands. This is how he was looking. He was like he was shaking his hand like he was stuck, like he couldn't move. Like he was fresh off of having a breast reduction. When you having a surgery, you can't move. And the reason why I said that is because use that example is because my sister had a breast reduction when she was younger. So I knew exactly how she stood. He stood like my sister.
Dang.
Like a robot. Like he had bandages on his shirt.
Move.
Like he can't move. So that's what I'm saying. That's how that man was standing. So it was distracting in a good way. Like I was just laughing the entire time at him just standing there. But Kurt basically wraps up his promo and says a deal has been made and out comes the World Elite, being Eric Young, Davari or Bashir, British Invasion, and Kiyoshi. A bunch of random people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I forgot all about Davari. He was in WWE. Eric Young, obviously I know who that is. British Invasion.
I think I only know a little bit about British Invasion. A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think I really saw them like that.
You ain't really missing, man. Like they was. No, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know they were probably pretty decent though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just joking, but mainly, yeah, they was pretty decent back in the day. But like I said, you're not really missing anything. Not really. It's like you're missing. It's like if in ring wise, they was pretty solid. I feel like 2008, 2009, but then after like 2010, when they broke up, it really wasn't as. They didn't really give a lot of footing to make me put them up there as a team that I would say go out of your way and watch them.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you to go out of your way and watch Motor City Machine Guns, who we're gonna see in just a little bit. I'll tell you go out of your way to watch them, especially with the work that they put in from 2010, 11, 12, all the way until now. Those are the teams because they're still going now. So that's what I'm saying. Stuff like that, I'll be like, all right, do that. But yeah, they came out. Obviously, certain members of the Main Event Mafia aren't impressed, but they shake hands with the faction because they've made an alliance. They're a new union. Powers unite, pun intended. Basically, that's the point of this show. Eric Young basically dick rides Kurt Angle a bit before saying this will be the most powerful union in TNA history and the most raspiest voice I've ever heard in my life, and then sends a message to the entire nation of America, a disgusting nation, might I add, and says, what are they about to do to everyone's hero is the nation's fault. And boys, let the cleansing begin. And I'm like, all right, bro, you're not hurting my feelings. I like this segment, though. Overall, I like this segment. I'm not going to lie to you. I like this segment. Booker T was the highlight of this segment for me.
Yes.
The memes I got from this man alone has been plentiful. Like, I think I screenshotted like 20 reaction pics from him. And I'm probably going to revisit this episode just to record like certain videos that I can use on Twitter. Like, that's what I'm saying. Booker T was literally on autopilot. I'm pretty sure he was probably high most of the time. Like, he was literally, but he had to be if he created Black Snow a few months prior to this. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But,
had to be.
So that's what I'm saying. So this segment was pretty good. We didn't cut backstage to JB Jeremy Borash looking to get a reaction from Mick Foley about what we just saw in the ring. JB says he thought he'd never see the day of Kurt Angle and Eric Young standing side by side. And Mick says that when egos get involved, everyone thinks they are bigger than the business. But the fact is, no one is bigger than the business. No one is bigger than TNA. Dick eater. JB then asks Mick, what does he intend to do about all of this? Mick says, what do I intend to do? I intend to go to war, JB. So strap in, because tonight will be a night that neither of us will ever forget. Pretty foreshadowing, if you will. Then Sting and Bobby Lashley clipped into the frame with Sting saying, "It's showtime," Mick in the most mellow tone possible, like he's trying to sell me a bottle of cologne when I walk into Macy's at Lenox Square. That's how mellow he said, "It's showtime, Mick." I'm like, why you sound like a sensational voiceover for Pornhub? Like, what are we doing here?
Man.
It's showtime. Let's watch. It's like he sound like not even that aside. Like if he want to go even further, he sound like one of those benediction pastors. Now that the doors of the church are open, first timers, come on down to God.
Or at the end,
come on down in Jesus' name, amen and amen. That's how mellow that man was. That's all I'm saying. He was literally that mellow.
he was real.
Mick then says, "Let's do it," and then Mick says, "Let's do it," in the most mellow tone as well. Like everything, the way that they was hyping it up, they were just so young with it. They were so mellow with it. Like, let's do it, and then they just walked out of the office. Back from the break, we cut back to the interviewer Lauren, who looks to get a reaction from Daniels of Eric Young's alignment with Kurt Angle. But before that, I was legitimately stuck on this man's mustache and the position he was standing. Like he was standing in the position like this, like he was Super Dude from All That. Like that's how he was standing. He was like, "I am Super Daniels. Hear me roar, bitches."
He's like, so anybody gonna talk about this man mustache, or it's just me? No, that's how I feel about when I see people with a toupee on their head. Because I'm like, is that real or they mess with me?
You can tell when it's a toupee.
Right? Like,
you can tell when it's a toupee.
I just be staring, like just
like, word?
Are they for real? I just be so surprised I ain't get caught, like just looking at people with that.
Don't let me. And the thing is, the reason why I brought that up is because imagine watching this high,
man,
out your mind. I watched this stoned out of my mind, and I'm like, y'all don't see that thing on his neck? Like you just want to walk up to him and just smack it off his face.
Man. Like, take that off.
Take that shit off your head. Like, what's wrong with you? And then you like, that wasn't fake. Oh, my bad.
Oh, for real?
Well, damn.
Like, well, ain't no point in me giving it back. Right.
There you go.
My God. I could hear your mustache back. I don't know how you're going to readjust, but
Sorry about that. You pull that shit off, you be like,
that was yours for real? Wow.
Damn. Sorry about that. Your bad. It be like that sometimes. Lauren says Eric Young has drawn a line in the sand and he will make an example out of Daniels. Daniel says he wants to make an example out of me. Shame on him. After everything we fought for the last 7 years, this is how he repays the fans, American fans, for their loyalty to TNA. You know what? Screw you, Eric Young. Screw Eric Young, Lauren. He wants us to stand up and take notice of him. Well, I have. What is it, Eric? You didn't have enough tension as a kid? Is that what it is? Why don't you be a man for once in your life? Stand up and be a man, Lauren. Or well, he said that to Eric. I'm sort of how I got that messed up. But he said, stand up and be a man. And I'm like, he basically said, you gets no bitches.
Basically.
That's what I picked up.
He just picked it in a nice way.
He just put it in a nice. He said, "Oh, you didn't get no attention as a guy."
I'm just gonna say this because we at work. I'm gonna give you the professional version. Okay.
You gets no bitches. I'm gonna give you the 2009 version because 2023 would be like, you gets no bitches. You scares the hoes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But Lauren says, "I feel you, dog." But this is Lauren's response. She said, "I feel you, dog. But you have a match out there tonight against Eric Young, and he got his boys Kiyoshi and Bashir with him. You sure you want to go through this? And then Chris Sabin legitimately bumps into the camera. He cuts into the frame, threw me off because I'm like, what the fuck? But he bumps into the camera right next to Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns, if you will. Lauren is appalled because they're interrupting her segment, but the Guns are more confused with the camera breaking the fourth wall, basically complaining about not being on TV for the past month. And Daniels had enough, and he pushes both men out of the way and says they need to see that their jobs are in jeopardy. And Alex Shelley said, "No shit, Sherlock Beard. We haven't been on TV in a month." He didn't say that last part. I made that up. Daniel said, "Cut the shit. The reason why they haven't been on TV is because they haven't done anything to get noticed. While they're out in the crowd holding up signs to complain like immature jackasses, those guys out there are taking our spots one by one. So stop with the bullshit and let's fight." Chris Sabin, after he walked off, Chris Sabin said, "Well, onward, young soldier. We can try it." Alex Shelley says they just want to be on TV, basically.
Stop complaining and fight.
Stop it. That's literally it.
Stop being a little punk.
Stop being a little bitch. Don't be like Eric Young. Don't scare the hoes. Just fight. That's all I'm saying. Still in the ring is the turncoat Eric Young, quote unquote, of World Elite. After aligning himself with the Main Event Mafia, set to do battle against the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels, or just Daniels, accompanied to the ring by the Motor City Machine Guns as backup. I didn't really take notes during any of these matches because I was pretty much enjoying them. But basically, after the match, I wrote down, the match starts off smooth with Eric Young jumping Daniels before they exchange intense offense. The Guns were just chilling as the other World Elite members kept getting involved, making this pretty much a 3-on-1 handicap match a bit against Daniels, while Sabin and Shelley were just scrolling through magazines. It wasn't Playboy. They had to be a little PG and playing rock, paper, scissors, shoot at ringside. They was literally not paying attention to anything. They was just like, well, we out here. We're on TV. This match was so good, though. I can't even lie. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't take too much notes on it because I was enjoying it. As the match came to a close, Daniels went for the BME, but Eric Young rolled out of the way. Daniels went for the Angel's Wings, but with the ref distracted, Kiyoshi sprayed Daniels in the eyes with red mist before Eric Young hit a pile driver on Daniels to pick up the win, quote unquote, going against the unwritten locker room code of using a pile driver because it can cause neck injuries and spinal stuff. Despite them not doing anything, the other two hit double baseball slides, drop kicks on the Guns just because to send a direct message to everyone as Eric Young continues to celebrate to go to a commercial break. What you think about this match? Did you enjoy it as much as I did, or did this get the 10-second?
So, no. Actually, this does. I'm gonna give it maybe a good 20 because I'm gonna make it short. I did enjoy this match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it was as long as I thought it was gonna be, but I did like it though.
A lot of these matches wasn't that long. I think it was more so about the segments.
They weren't.
Which I'm kind of cool with. I think it was
by being like promos cutting in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of did it for me for a little bit.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Like the matches weren't too bad. Like actually, they weren't. It's just they weren't as long as I thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Other than that, it was pretty. It was pretty solid. To start off, it's the first match of this show. I wouldn't say start the show because we literally had a lot of shit in between.
Right.
And then speaking of in between, we had a Hard Justice promo hyping up the pay-per-view with that song I was talking about. Got a head bop out of me. Back from the break, we get another rundown of what's happening on tonight's show, including an additional 8-man tag match out of nowhere. It was Team 3 and Beer Money versus Scott Steiner, Booker T, and British Invasion. We then cut back. You said what?
I said every time I hear Steiner, I think the Steiner brothers. Every time.
That's literally them. That's it. That's him. That's him.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's him. Steiner.
Every time. Every time, man. They mark my brain for life. Every time.
My bad.
They're awesome, though.
Steiner.
Yeah. Man.
We then cut back to an interview with Team 3D and Beer Money on their reaction of teaming up. Bobby Roode said, "Let's forget about their past and talk about Eric Young, who he knows him more than anyone, being fellow Canadian, saying that Eric Young must have forgot how he begged for a job in this company, begging Jeff Jarrett for a job, and how he easily betrayed them, and says he'll be damned if he's going to dictate his future." So basically, at this point, I realized that this was basically a outsiders versus homegrown story, similar to what they're doing in AEW right now with Saraya, Ruby Soho, Tony Storm, and Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and pretty much every woman who didn't come from WWE. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like we've seen this storyline a million times in my life, where it's outsiders versus like the Nexus versus Team WWE. Who else? Yeah. Oh, WCW and ECW invading WWF. It's like I've seen this storyline. It's like I've been here before. I've been at this plot device before. That's literally that's basic.
Turn out.
That's basically basic TV writing right there. That's all. That's pretty much it. Brother Ray. Oh, he said he'll be damned. He felt betrayed. He said he'll be damned if Eric Young is going to dictate his future. Brother Ray says he can understand why Beer Money is. He's like, hey, yo, I understand why you're pissed, but nobody has any more reason to be mad other than he and Devon. It says they were screwed out of their match last week, their tag team titles last week, and says if Beer Money is pissed, he's triple pissed. And then he screams some more before calling British Invasion, and I quote, "Big tea sipping, crumpet eating fairies."
Man.
I stared at this man for like 5 minutes when he said that. I'm like, you idiot. What does that even mean?
I'm like, yo, ain't that food?
Like, so they eating food like normal people? That's an insult? All right. We ain't forget about you before storming off. So Devon can say his own, "Oh, my brother, testify." That was a segue into the next match, an 8-man tag team match. British Invasion's Big Rob, Terry, and Douglas Williams, accompanied by Brutus Magnus, fresh off of winning the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, thanks to Eric Young and Booker T. And Scott Steiner of the Main Event Mafia with Sharmell as well. And Booker T's walk during this entire oh, you could tell he was just cruising at this point. That man literally stood behind Scott Steiner and just act like he was golfing. He just said, "Sport." I feel like he was zoned out because he didn't want to be there no more. He was just like, he was on autopilot.
Tired. He was like, okay.
He was zooted out of his mind. He was literally not paying no attention. He was just chilling. And their opponents were none other than the Cowboy, James Storm, and Bobby Roode, Beer Money Incorporated. James Storm coming out with his little cart, his little buggy. I always like that. Teaming up with Brother Ray and Brother Devon, Team 3D, the 22-time tag team champions. Y'all won a lot of titles.
22. Dang.
This is basically a standard TV 8-man tag right off the jump. Brother Ray and Scott Steiner started the match for their respective teams. What you think about it? Was this one of those matches that kind of got the skip for you? Because I contemplated, but I just got on Twitter.
It did.
I just got on Twitter. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like I said,
10 seconds immediately.
It wasn't it's like I sat through it. It's like every time I looked up, nothing was bad, but it was pretty standard. And it's like as soon as they tagged in Rob Terry, I just went straight to Twitter because this man was big as shit and he was terrible in the ring. The dude was stiff. Like the dude was not fluid. He was just muscle. Brr, like congratulations, I think.
I was like, okay, bye.
The match eventually broke down as Team 3D connected with the WhatsApp before Ray calls for Devon to get the tables, and then Magnus literally jumps on the apron and starts calling for the rest of the World Elite to come out. And then they do, but they are followed by Daniels and the Motor City Machine Guns because of what happened earlier. And then they follow them by, and then the Main Event Mafia run out, followed by Sting and Samoa Joe. All hell breaks loose, literally. Bobby Lashley squaring off with Samoa Joe. So much chaos. And I wrote down, I think we made it to this point. We made it to that point where all hell breaks loose with Tracy Brooks pushing Rude off the top rope, allowing for Rob Terry to hit a big spine buster on Rude to pick up the win for their team, and the brawl continues all over the place. Yep, we've made it to that point. The riot is about to start. And I barely roll anything down because I was literally enjoying every moment.
I was. I didn't write down nothing. I was like, this is great. Keep it going.
You just watch it. You was like, oh shit, there we go.
Like,
we cut back from break, and the riot is still going. Security is trying to gain control, but they might as well call it a day because they're not controlling this. They use security cameras, which I liked. The overhead security cameras on the live feed. So they pretty much made it look like they basically utilized every camera available within existence on that show. Yeah. I enjoyed that. So they basically set this up perfectly like a riot. Like you can tell that it was pretty much staged. If you pull back the curtain, you can tell it was staged, but they pulled it off really well where you felt like everybody legitimately wanted to beat the shit out of each other. They like I said, they used security cameras, and then we saw Kurt Angle being doubled up on by Mick Foley and Sting, with Kevin Nash taking a nap in rubble in the back. Sting and Kurt Angle took bumps on a stiff table that literally would not budge. And they kept brawling as another camera caught up with other things going on. It's literally brawls everywhere next to the trailers. It literally looked chaotic, and that was my favorite part. Like, don't make it look like it's staged. Just go insane. That's literally it. They kept ringing that damn bell for some reason. Like, that would stop anything. So I'm like, please stop. Please stop. Just let it go.
Like, just let the fight continue.
Just
like, man.
Like you ringing the bell like that's supposed to do. Like that's supposed to do shit. You're doing too much. Brother Ray kept hitting a table with a steel chair with Booker T under it. Like he literally was just smashing the table. I'm like, he was trying to murder the man or give him brain damage. Sting and James Storm start hitting folks with steel trash cans. And then bystanders in the park are just enjoying the visual. I'm enjoying the visual at the crib, so we can agree on that. Then Daniels and the Motor City Machine Guns were just doing wrestling moves in the ring while the chaos was going on in the back. I'm like, why y'all wrestling right now? Fight. Then we start hearing sirens. They don't call the cops. They don't call 12.
Yes.
They had this one cop who came right out and said, "Now's my time to shine." Let me.
I said, what y'all call 504?
They had Did you see that one cop though who had the nightstick?
Yes.
The way he stood there and posed, he said, "It's my time to shine," and then he started doing like this.
I was like, man, get him off the force because he want to play. Like
he's like,
he's playing on the job.
He's like, stop it. Like that dude was literally.
He got beat up too. Like
I would have beat him up. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. You playing? Like,
what are you doing? God damn.
If you're gonna be the police, be the real police. Stop playing.
Raggedy bitch. You raggedy bitch.
Like, man, get out. Jerry, get your friend.
Like if you go play 12, at least be realistic with it, bro. Like you literally just exposed that y'all are not real cops.
We done spotted that as soon as you did that stance.
As soon as you did the stance, I'm like, you did the stance like you in Def Jam comedy right now. Like you in Def Jam New York. Like you just dancing. Like I'm like, bro. I just busted. It's like after that, I just bust out laughing when he did that. I'm like, yo, this is comedy. Like, what are we doing here?
Literally.
But this was basically used to the chaos stopped. It was literally after the cops came and the dude had his shine on. That was used to stop the chaos backstage, and that was going to the break. It's like that was great overall. That entire segment was great. I I had to watch it more than once to get these notes, because the first time I watched it, I was literally zoned in. But after that, I had to okay, that happened. Kevin Nash was taking naps, then he hit somebody with the steel grail or the barricade. Then trash started, and then I think Mick Foley at one point hit somebody with a box full of those little, those little styrofoam things that they use, the little paper plastic that they put in packages, the little white thing. He used that, and then it started splattering everywhere. So I'm like, stuff like that just made me bust out laughing. The entire riot was chaotic and funny at the same time. But I need AEW or NXT to recreate this at some point.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But I feel like it will happen at some point, especially in NXT, because NXT is basically an asylum, because it's like everybody's either getting kidnapped, beat up, jumped in the parking lot, or
I've noticed that too. I'm like, dang, what is it with y'all getting kidnapped all over the place? What is this?
Like Johnny Gargano got his ass whooped in front of his wife and son. So it's like a lot of it's a lot going on.
A lot of aggression going on.
That was just the middle of the show, because we still got more to do. And I'm like, damn, that was my main event. But I guess we can watch the rest of the show. But we got a lot more to do, as out next is a knockouts match with the future legend Alyssa Flash. This was the first person I had to research, because I'm like, who?
Right.
We got a recap of her debut alongside Sarita. I remember Sarita. I don't recall Alyssa Flash. Like I said, I did research. She hasn't really been active since 2019.
Oh, wow.
So
where was she in 2019?
Somewhere on the Indies. She hasn't been in a major company in a hot minute. So yeah, she was somewhere on the Indies. This is a tag team match, as Tracy Brooks of the Main Event Mafia, after winning a last knockout standing battle royal to win a spot in the Main Event Mafia. Their opponents is Taylor Wilde and Sarita. Both women are still wrestling to this day.
Nice.
Sarita herself hasn't really been active in the American scene since she was released from the WWE in 2020 as a trainer. I believe she was a trainer or something behind the scenes. This match was pretty much non-existent at the beginning, because they kept putting the camera on Tracy's body to admire. But all I could think about was how she was built like a capital P. or a sleigh when you're riding down a snow mountain. Like,
dang.
Like, I'm like,
Not a capital P.
She got bazookas, but no ass.
Man.
I was like, what am I looking at? I'm like, I just had to be real. I'm like, what am I looking at? Like what are we doing here? And I believe she's someone who hasn't really been active. I think she retired too. So right at the gate, Taylor Wilde exposed Taylor Wilde exposed Tracy. Well, how she was legit out wrestling her. She was literally quick, and Tracy was like, "What the fuck?" Both Sarita and Taylor were cooking respectively. There was a moment where Tracy Brooks tried to stop Taylor Wilde, and she was legit kicked in the head by Taylor. That shit was loud, because I had my speakers up, so all I heard was pow. I'm like, God damn!
It was super loud.
Tracy obviously gave her a receipt, so she got her comeuppance on that. During this match, TNA started piping in crowd noise. I don't know if you caught it. They sound like they were in the Thunderdome before the Thunderdome was a thing. Like, you heard, I'm like,
yeah.
But then when you look at the camera, at the hard camera, the crowd wasn't moving. Their mouth was closed.
That's another thing too. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Their mouth was closed.
They wasn't talking.
And I'm like,
trickery going on around here.
Like, this was the Thunderdome before the Thunderdome was a thing. So Sarita was so fluid in this match, it was insane. The ending came when Sarita slipped out and caught Flash slipping to score the surprise win with the schoolgirl. After the match, the sore losers attacked the winners to get the last lap. This was a match that it was there, but if Taylor and Sarita wasn't there, I would have skipped it, because in ring wise, it was like they was carrying this entire match. I mean, Alyssa Flash, I'm gonna give her credit. She was hanging in there too, but you can tell who was meant to be there and who was not meant to be there. We get a TNA hype promo. This is a revolution. The revolution will be televised. He was basically like,
This is the revolution. Are you ready? Cross the line.
they were basically begging the fans to watch the product.
Yeah. Yep.
Back from the break, we're in the beautiful people's area. They're sitting on two thrones, Velvet Sky, Madison Rayne, and Knockouts champion Angelina Love. They are interviewed by Lauren about Angelina's title defense on the next episode, which will be a four corners, four-way match involving Tara, Awesome Kong, and ODB, and herself, obviously. Velvet wasn't impressed with Lauren's hair for some reason. Angelina casually saying she was molested by Cody Deaner. Accusations.
Mm-hmm.
ODB's boyfriend, Tara's tarantula, then went into an overdramatic reaction. Like, she literally went into an overdramatic reaction about nothing. I'm like, I don't know if it was just bad acting or what, but oof. Before Velvet says she's sick of it and the beautiful people are going to do something about it, starting with Old Dirty Butch. Pete Dunne. I was confused. I was like,
yeah, I only
what?
know one ODB. When I heard that, I only knew one. I was like, wait, is it Old Dirty Bastard? And they went back. And then they went to what his was, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
I'm guessing that's what they,
to me.
when I heard Old Dirty Butch, I was like, are we talking about the Bruiserweight from WWE? But then I was like, oh, her name is ODB, Old Dirty Butch. Oh, well, shit. It just literally clicked right now. She's like, who's been going around whining about getting the title shot? And Velvet says, Angelina's going to do it. Angelina says, I ain't scared. And when she said that, I blacked out for a minute. Like, I legitimately stared into space. I ain't scared. And I'm like,
stop. I was like, stop before you get to 10 seconds.
nah, she about to get the block.
That too.
I'm about to block her on social media.
I'm saying, you know too much.
Matter of fact, I was about to turn the whole episode off, really, when I blacked out, because I'm like, she did not just say I ain't scared.
Yeah, bruh.
Angelina then challenged ODB and Cody to a match at Hard Justice against herself and Velvet before vowing to continue the fight, or the good fight of getting rid of the ugly out of TNA. And Madison Rayne was just there. She didn't say nothing. Mm-hmm. We cut back to the parking lot now that things have settled down with Kip or Billy Gunn cleaning up the rubble while Hernandez walked up confused. This show is almost over and he just now showing up to work. Kip was like, where the hell you been, bro? There was a big brawl and now I got to clean all this shit up. And I'm looking at him like, no, you don't. You can literally just walk away, bro. You wasn't involved. So you literally ain't got to clean nothing up. Next up, we get a word from AJ Styles, who's asked about everything that has gone down with AJ, saying this is basically an insane asylum, before saying that despite all that he's focused on winning, not even a meter hitting this earth could take his focus off of beating Matt Morgan. AJ, if a meter hit this earth, it would take your focus off this because you'd be dead. What if a massive meteor hits this planet and takes all of us out? You'd be brawling Matt Morgan in the afterlife.
Bruh.
When he said that, I was like, I just looked down. I'm like, bro, no. You would be focusing on the meter because the meter would take the earth out.
Hello.
But he says he wants to be in the main event at Hard Justice, one and done. We then get a rundown of the Hard Justice pay-per-view card, and on paper, it looks like a stacked card. When I watched it back, it wasn't a stacked card. That shit was all over the place. It had its moments, but I pretty much went on autopilot the last time I watched Hard Justice 2009. Next up, we get a Hernandez hype promo sounding like a motivational speaker.
Yeah, I saw this too.
And I blacked out even more. because I could never get behind Hernandez at all.
Yeah, this one got the 10-second for me.
And when I watched this, I was like, what did y'all see in this man? Because this man clearly is not it. I don't know what we doing here. We got the motivational speaker of Hernandez before cutting to a sit-down interview between Hernandez and Mike TNA about his recovery from getting attacked. I believe he was injured and he had to get surgery and all this stuff. They then got a backstory about his rise to in sports and then to wrestling, and then his relationship with his father and how patriotic he is. Then they talk about the LAX breakup, which was mainly due to the flag burning segment. Then and now they are focused on two different paths or two different things, with Homicide focused on the X Division champion or being X Division champion in the X Division, while he still focused on becoming the TNA World Heavyweight Champion before closing out in Spanish, speaking to the Latino community. And then we cut. It was just a nothing interview. I just did not care. I'm just gonna be real with you. And we then cut to a backstage interview with X Division champion Homicide, who isn't concerned about what Hernandez had to say. He's basically focused on being champion. And then name drops Samoa Joe, the Nation of Violence. He's not sweating Samoa Joe, especially with Taz as his coach, basically saying his city is better than Taz's city, it's better than 13. And he wants him to come to hard justice with Joe because, Joe, my partner beat you. I'm going to hurt you. So if I was you, you better polish your boots or whatever you do in Samoa, because this island boy from Puerto Rico and also from Brooklyn is going to hurt you. Latinos, we don't die. We multiply and die 187. And he said something that they censored to wrap up the segment.
It's all right, baby kids.
All right, bro.
Won't die, we multiply. It sound like baby kids to me.
He's like, we don't die. We multiply to live and die. So you actually die.
Basically, you're right. Like, made no sense at all.
That's why I looked at him for a second. I was just looking at him. I was like, did you think this out loud when you said this? Because you said we don't die. Latinos don't die.
Evidently not.
But you multiply. But then say you die 187. So you still die.
Right.
What are we doing here? So this incarnation of LAX is no more, and we move on. Matt Morgan heads to the ring next for the next match in the best of 3 series. Then we get a promo with AJ Styles, a webography. Did you even watch this segment?
No.
I guess not. He said it's like I wrote a little bit down before I blacked out and just skipped. He said, AJ said if he wasn't a professional wrestler, he'd be a cop. And I wrote down, I believe you. He looks like 12. He looks like you're used to AJ with beard and long hair. You're not used to babyface AJ. That's probably why she just had an epiphany. She was like, wait.
Yeah, I was like, dang, little AJ. Like,
she's so used to WWE AJ Styles.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's babyface AJ. Legit babyface. Like he clean shaven, short haircut, country boy from Gainesville, Georgia.
AJ.
Yeah. But he looked like 12. He looked like he would be somebody that'll be a cop. He said, oh, if I wasn't a professional wrestler, I'd be a cop. Yeah, you look like 12.
Dang.
He basically told his backstory. He played football and then amateur wrestling. He's a Mario Brothers, Castlevania, Metal Gear, Street Fighter 2. He's basically a Nintendo guy, and he wanted to either be a basketball, football, or baseball player when he grew up, but he couldn't do basketball because he was too short. This was basically getting to know you thing, and this is when I skipped because I just didn't care. I'm like,
it's too long.
Okay, it should have been literally like 5 minutes. This should have been on YouTube before YouTube was a thing. So, this wasn't before YouTube. YouTube was a thing in 2009. Before YouTube became popping. This is literally a YouTube segment. After a recap of AJ Styles and Matt Morgan last week, we get the second of the best of 3 series between the two before both men make their respective entrances. Matt Morgan's theme song was pretty good. You have you waken a sleeping giant.
Screaming like that.
And then obviously AJ Styles' theme is forever goated for me. You are, I am, you are, I am.
AJ.
Oh. Oh man, this is another match I instantly paid attention to because the bell rings, and this match was instantly the battle of big man versus little man, with Morgan eventually gaining full control. Morgan was playing around and got caught lacking, so AJ kept using his quickness and moves out of nowhere to keep Morgan reeling each time. Pele kicks, beautiful looking insecurities, all the whole nine. AJ Styles kept accidentally hitting the taunt button before going for the springboard 450, but AJ missed and was hung up on the ropes, and then Morgan connected with the elevator to pick up the win and tied the series up 1-1. It was a decent match. Like it wasn't that long, so that's what made it decent. If it was long, then I would be like, all right. We then get a music video type recap of all of Victory Road, include one of the worst women's matches in wrestling history, Charmel versus Jenna Maraska. I probably should. You've never seen that match. I probably should show you that match to see why it's horrible.
Okay.
It's that bad.
Okay.
We didn't get the Pope D'Angelo De Niro's coming soon, so this is when he made his debut. He literally made his debut in 2009, and they butchered this man by 2011.
Dang.
Damn. Back from the plugs, we see Kurt Angle leaving the arena, which JB asked, What are they retreating? And Kurt said, nah, blood, the cops got involved. We don't just sleep this off. We got families to worry about. We're not about to go to jail for this shit. And then he runs out.
Pretty much.
Abyss then and calls JB over, looking all discreet. Like, bro, your big ass can't hide from nobody. You big as hell. And I'm like, bro, what you for?
Why?
And then he brings up the $50,000 bounty on his head from Dr. Stevie, and then the camera pans down and shows a hammer behind JB's head, behind JB's back. And I'm like, where did that hammer come from? He's looking to collect the bounty, and Abyss is hurt. He was like, we're supposed to be friends, best friends. You're not going to try to collect the bounty, are you? Come on, JB. JB says, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Man, he contemplates hitting his friend for a coin. He contemplates hitting his friend for a coin, and then Austin Creed or Consequences Creed or Xavier Woods pops into the frame. I'm pretty sure you probably was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
and I legit forgot he was still there at this point. I was like, that's Creed.
Yeah.
But Creed confronts Abyss about what went down between them, and Abyss tries to apologize for attacking him. Dude, you're a monster. Stop apologizing, you bitch. Creed says he sent Jay into a dumpster and almost split his face open, and Abyss tries to continue to apologize, but then Jay Lethal clipped into the frame. Both he and Creed start attacking Abyss, and they was getting the advantage, but then Lethal was deep into his black machismo gimmick, and when he mentioned the bounty, Abyss snapped back into monster mode and pushed Creed off, and then Black Machismo called Abyss Andre. He's like, no, Andre. No. He was basically feel like I think he was at the moment where he thought he was facing Andre the Giant. No motherfucker, that's Abyss. But Abyss tossed him into the trash can, and when he tossed him into the trash can, when he said no Andre, I just started rolling. I just bust out laughing. No Andre, no, ow. And then Abyss then finished off Creed by yeeting that man into a door before shouting, I can't stand this, before walking away pulling his hair. Man, you are a monster. Why are you a bitch? Damn. After another TNA hype package that we saw earlier, we see Sting make the slow walk to the ring as the main event is up next. IWGP Tag Team Champion Brutus Magnus, accompanied to the ring by Big Rob Terry and Doug Williams, makes his way to the ring as he goes one-on-one with the Icon Sting. Referee Slick kicked the other members of the British Invasion out from ringside before the match begun. The match started with Sting going in on Magnus before he rolled out the ring, and he asked for more time. He asked for timeout, but then after a while, Magnus caught Sting slipping, and then he went on the offense against Sting from here on out. This was a non-existent main event. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna be real with you. This wasn't really a match. After the break, Sting hit a standing NZ before regaining control and then locking in the Scorpion Deathlock to pick up the quick win. That was literally it. It was a one and done.
It really was. It was quick.
I looked down, I looked up, I'm like, oh shit.
Random fight. And I was like, oh.
That's why I looked down, I looked up, I'm like, oh, so this is it? All right. After the match, it was literally that fast. I looked down, I'm like, I'm writing down notes, and I'm like, oh shit. All right. After the match, Magnus tries to attack Sting from behind, but Sting caught him instantly because he was yelling while running to him. Like, bro, we can hear you. I heard you. And then World Elite ran out, and it was basically 6-on-1 until Bobby Lashley and Mick Foley ran out to even the odds. And then here comes the Main Event Mafia. Kevin Nash and Booker T took their time to get there. They were just chilling on autopilot, but they didn't leave. The numbers advantage is in their favor of this new alliance until freaking Hernandez ran out swinging a freaking chain. Like, that dude literally, a grown man, like, bro, he literally was swinging a big ass chain. Just running around causing the group to retreat, which I get it. Getting hit with chains sucks, especially a big ass chain that you have no control over. The babyfaces stood tall to force the World Elite Main Event Mafia to retreat. The battle lines have been drawn to end the show. Overall, I enjoyed the show. Little bits and pieces that I skipped because no show is perfect, but I didn't hate the show. I enjoyed it for what it was.
It was good.
It was good.
I liked it. I did. I really did like it.
That brawl though.
That brawl always be like my highlight though.
That's my only highlight for this. That
was fun.
It was like, it was so much. You can tell, and I like the way that they structured the build to it. It was like they alluded to it, like, hey, this will be a night that you'll never forget. Mm-hmm. This will be like they was like, okay, the World Elite and the Main Event Mafia are a unit. The people are taking it personal because Eric Young, who was a TNA original, betrayed the front line, if you will, outside of Samoa Joe as well. So it's like he betrayed them and joined forces with him. So it made it intense when it happened, and it was some hilarious bits with the trash cans and all that. So the riot was my highlight. In ring wise, my highlight was the Eric Young and Daniels match. I enjoyed that one. But that concludes our retro review for this week for TNA Impact Cross the Line. Are you crossing the line yet? I'm not crossing the line yet. I'm pretty sure Suela's going to cross the line. And she's ready for me to cross the line to move on from this segment. But that is your retro review for this week. All right, now's the time of the episode where I shift the focus and hand the reins over to the Queen of Rebels, where she give us our top 3 trending today topics and discussions. So take it away, Queen Rebel.
All right. So, for all my lovely UFC fans, we got a couple events coming up in the month of March. We have, oh God, why did I don't want to say this man's name wrong, but
try your best.
Okay. We have Edwards versus Usman. That'll be Saturday, March 18th at 5 p.m. EDT. I forgot what that stood for. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't say Eastern Standard Time because that's EST, so I can't say that. But
Easter definition.
I can't. Okay. It'll be in London in the UK. So, I definitely am kind of looking forward to this particular match. I think it'll be pretty good. So, other than that, I'm pretty excited for it. I can't wait to see, what's gonna happen between these two. Also, we have Vera versus Sadagen, I believe. That's going to be next Saturday, which is March the 25th. That'll be at 7 p.m. and that'll be in San Antonio, Texas, here in the U.S. So I'm definitely looking forward to those two matches. Also, as far as TV shows, I decided to take it back a little bit as far as like with the Power series. Power in general, I'm definitely almost finished with it because I'm still in season 5. But I decided to take it like way back because
you went to the OG series.
I went to Raising Kanan because Kanan is the one that said, he the one put Ghost and Tommy on before they became Ghost and Tommy. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take it back. So I decided to do that first. And speaking of Power, there's supposed to be a season 3.
Yep, it comes back on Friday, the 17th.
Yes. Season's premiere is Saturday, March 17th.
Is it
Friday? Is it Friday, March 17th?
Yeah, it's Friday. It's Friday.
Yep. So, yes, I want to say, please stay tuned for that and, check that out when you have time.
I'm so behind on shows. It is funny.
I am too. That's why I'm just trying to catch as much as I can. Even though I'm supposed to help set up for this DJ for Friday and Saturday. Subtronic. He's from Philadelphia, so I'm supposed to help out with that. But hopefully, that won't be a lot to do.
Well, with me gonna be traveling a lot more this year, I'm probably gonna have enough time to catch up on these stuff. So.
Oh yeah, it will. Also, you guys, WrestleMania, March, not even in March, April 1st and 2nd. Did I say that right?
Yep, April 1st.
So, yeah, y'all know WrestleMania coming soon. Make sure y'all have y'all rent and stuff up to date first before y'all start trying to go all the way to California. Because California is more than rent money expensive.
But California is rent, house note, car note.
No car note.
And phone.
Phone, everything.
That's literally everything. That's why people was asking me. They're like, "Hey, Gresh, you gonna come? You gonna go to WrestleMania in Hollywood?" I got money, but I'm not California rich.
If I work it, I won't have to worry about how I'm getting there and coming home and all that.
Nah, if I was working the show, then that's a different story. Like if they hired if they hired a production company that I work for and they say, "Hey, we need you to be the audio or the co-op audio or the video." Yeah, I'll be there because I'm gonna be at the freaking show.
I had fun. I got a chance to have the opportunity. I got lucky last year and got a chance to do it in Texas, so that was fun for me. But best believe, they weren't finna let us just be coming down there with no transportation. They ain't play that just so. we got taken care of. But other than that, also the Oscars. I didn't get a chance to watch everything.
Boo! Angela should have won.
Her awards.
Angela should have won.
Angela should have won her awards. So let's not play.
And I blame.
And
I blame Will Smith. Because he slapped the fool, and then they started acting funny afterwards. So it's your fault, bro.
That's very true. But other than that, please, y'all stay safe out here. Don't do anything dumb. Drink your water. Drink your Gatorade. Stay hydrated. This is pollen season. Make sure you stop
the bitches.
Zyrtex, your Claritin. What else? Allergy message day. Benadryl. Benadryl is really number 1. So make sure you lock in on that too. Also, I know this day has passed, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Happy Mario Day. Mario Day was on March the 10th. For all my Nintendo fans. Other than that, Mario is coming out April 5th, I believe. Super Mario. So I hope Illumination does it justice. I still like Illumination because I love Despicable Me. So
Are you talking about the movie?
Yes.
No.
I think it comes out April 5th.
I'm gonna let you see it and tell me. I'm gonna let you see it and tell me about it on the show because
okay,
that's not a movie I want to go out of my way to watch. It's just me personally. So
if I see it, that's
yeah.
a big if.
I still ain't seen Ant-Man yet. That's how busy I am. It's like I looked out and seeing Creed 3 because I was off that day, but can't really do I can't do nothing when money got to be made.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I still didn't get a chance to go see Creed 3 because on my day off, we went to go see Cocaine Bear and Ant-Man back to back.
That's another show I gotta go see movie too because they got Cocaine Bear, then they got Cocaine Shark.
Cocaine Shark. And I'm like, no, I'm good with the bear. No, for real, I am, seriously. Now, if I do decide to watch the shark, it'll just be because I done decided to drink.
What timeline are we in?
Man, I don't know. Like, if I do decide to go see Cocaine Shark, I better be with my cousins, my brother, and it better be a good night for me to just be like, yeah, I'll watch.
I'm gonna need all the weed possible. So I mean, I can't
I
drive.
I like Cocaine Bear.
I need to go with people. I need to go with people who can drive because I'm not gonna drive.
Oh well, yeah.
If I smoke one joint, I'm fine. Because I have to smoke it before the movie, then that way it gives me time to sit in my system, and then it wears off by the time I'm driving. But if I'm going to sit through a Cocaine Bear movie or Cocaine Shark movie, I'm going to be smoking the entire time. So,
like I have to be
high the entire time. Ain't nothing settling down. I'm going up the entire time. I'm riding the wave the entire time. Ride the wave. Ride the wave of Gresh and subscribe. YouTube plug. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But yes, please lock in for those. As mentioned before, make sure you guys stay safe out here. Also, know that you're loved and appreciated. You're not a mistake. I don't know about everybody else, but to me,
yeah, you're not a mistake.
You're not a mistake.
But there are some people.
There are some people.
No, you're not a mistake that you're still here. You're more than likely a oops. There's some people
make dumb mistakes. That's all I ask.
See, that's the thing. What people need to understand. You're not a mistake that you're here, but some of y'all are some oops.
You're an unexpected blessing.
Yes, you're oh shit. Like,
yeah,
babe,
you're an unexpected blessing.
Babe, I'm pregnant. You sure?
Okay. Sure. No, it's funny you said that because so here's the thing. Me and my mama was having a conversation. I told her, I said, listen, in that time frame, once it happens, I do get married and I become pregnant. If in the event, if my husband knows I'm pregnant before me, we gonna have to talk. I gotta find out what is it in his spidey senses that makes him like no.
The funny thing is you can tell.
He'll be like, yes, you are. Let's go take the test.
The funny thing is you can tell when someone's pregnant though. If you do your research, or if you were fortunate enough to be raised around women who are vulnerable around you, so you can I can picture if someone's pregnant.
Okay.
Mood swings.
It'd be mood swings and certain things they'll turn down that they're usually
certain tenderness in certain spots.
Okay.
So like a woman be like, babe, I'm feeling kind of like something's hurt, and then you be like, go take a test. And there's but some people, and that's what I'm saying. Some people just don't know. Like some people are legit. Oops. Like I know a few.
Chilling, they be like, man, no, like stop playing.
Fun. Okay. I'm about to say for fun fact because I know a few family members that legitimately didn't know they was pregnant until it was time to deliver. So that's what I'm saying. Some people are legit oops. Some people are legit oops out here in these streets. So you can't really.
That's crazy.
But you got anything else?
Other than that, no. Like, just have a great day and be safe.
That's literally it, because this typically comes out in the morning. If you're watching this wherever you listen to your podcast, if you're on the train, if you at the gym, hopefully you have a great day. Hopefully you pumping some iron, getting your body right, and to bounce off her sentiments. Last quote before we get out of here, and that is, you're beautiful, and it has nothing to do with your looks. You're beautiful for your ideas, thoughts, and mindset. Nice. And that's pretty much it. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in the world of unknown. But as your favorite voice that does the most, alongside the queen of rebels herself and your purveyor of mischief, myself, I have to remind you that of the one known, and that is you are appreciated, you are loved, and you are respected by yours truly for your support. Wherever it's on Twitch, wherever it's on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at Gresh Unleashed. Make sure you follow me on social media at Josh Gresham ORG or at AO is Gresh on Twitch. Make sure you follow Suela herself at Suela the Bandit 13 on Twitter, as well as Rebel Bandit. Any other numbers? Or is it
45_ on Instagram.
45_ on Instagram. If you can't find that, just go to solo.to/Suela, and that's literally her hub for all links. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. And remember, like the hoodie says that you should cop the merch, by the way. Always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out. Be breezy.
Bye, y'all.